We are Catboys.
We are Catboys. These are our Final Fantasy 14 Catboy characters.
Whoa.
Very important to us. We spent thousands of hours with them. That's my Chocobo Clint.
Clint.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is the meaning of life, and there are aliens over there.
This is the story of Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker.
Yeah.
People that find out the meaning of life and then have an existential crisis because it ain't that good.
But here is a song from the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack that I learned to play the other day.
It's us in Final Fantasy 14.
As Catboys.
Role-playing as Catboys.
We've spent half this year as Catboys, let's be honest.
It's been we played for 700 years.
We even went to a gay club as Catboys. Should we talk about this? No.
Someone hit on us.
I know!
So it was a Saturday, we were bored, we were looking at this thing, someone said, come to our nightclub. We went to a private house, it was a club full of people, we were walking around as Catboys, and this shirtless giant bear guy said,
"What are you boys up to? Want to come into the basement?"
And then we logged off.
It was weird.
I turned around and I could just see this really long metal object, and I was like, I wonder what that is. It looks like a Sephiroth katana or something.
Not in capitals.
Thanks for telling me the spelling of Toto.
Well, I never trusted people that did their Final Fantasy characters in capital letters.
I know, right?
Hi, Cloud! Final Fantasy.
Ultimisia, the cactus.
That time back.
You name every character in every game Striker.
Because it's Miko Striker.
He still names his character Striker.
And
the
Clint.
role players.
And Phil got me this, which is probably the single best present anyone's ever given me in my entire life. It's a goddamn Tonberry!
Cloud Buster Sword. This is when I went to the Final Fantasy VII Remake event, and I was going to be given a giant Buster Sword, and I wanted to see how Cloud held it. And it was so heavy, I ended up just standing like this with my arms vibrating, hoping I wouldn't drop it. And then Jacksepticeye posed these really cool, effortless pictures, and I'm just like, ah. This leads us very nicely onto probably one of my dream sponsors. It is Square Enix and Final Fantasy VII Remake. So this is the easiest thing for me to talk about. I've been a fan of the Final Fantasy series ever since Final Fantasy VII, all those years ago. So when I heard that they were remaking it, I actually left my body. I just ceased to exist for a moment. And the game has really lived up to the hype. I almost cried when I started playing it and heard the music. It's just, it's just so good. It takes place in the city of Midgar, which they've recreated to look and feel like you're in an actual city. I spent half the time just looking up and around at all the beautiful surroundings and not actually playing the game. You might be like, Phil, I get it's pretty, but what's the story? Well, seems more relevant than ever, actually. You play as Hunky Cloud over here with the crazy hair, and he's a member of Avalanche, a resistance group that are going up against a huge corporation called Shinra, who are literally draining the planet's life force to make energy. Does that ring any bells? And that's just the beginning, and it leads you on to an epic adventure of battles and summons and chocobos and moogles and genetically modified talking cats. It's a whole thing. I think it's a great game to play if you're a fan, but also if you've never played one before, this would be a really fun place to start. So the good news is Final Fantasy VII Remake is currently on sale! So if you click the special link below, you get some money off, and if you want to try it out, there is a free demo on the PlayStation Store as well. I hope you enjoy. Back to my googs. This Marvel t-shirt leads us very well onto the sponsor of this video, Square Enix. Again, can you believe it? The makers of Final Fantasy are sponsoring me. I'm also so excited for the Final Fantasy Pixel remaster for the first 6 games. I've never played the first 5 Final Fantasy games, so that is going to be me for the next 5 years. I mean, excited is an understatement. This house has its own Final Fantasy shelf. It's that important. Something else that tickled my pickle was Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier, a battle royale in the Final Fantasy universe. It's going to be on mobile devices. I'm probably going to play it so much my fingers will turn to steam. So if you want to check out the summer showcase, I have put a link below, and maybe I'll fight you to the death in the battle royale.
You're using the song from Final Fantasy VI.
Straight in there.
So this is like proper Final Fantasy old school Pokemon style art too.
Strange rich child.
So I mean, my years of Final Fantasy are kind of telling me how this works.
Battle.
The Final Fantasy VII boss music.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right,
sure.
so what-
Shit. Well, if you use the Final Fantasy VII boss music for the normal fights, then what's this gonna be?
We'll find out.
Let's rest at the inn. Classic choice.
Thank you.
Is that from 7?
I think that's it.
That just reminds me of Barrett's theme coming up next.
Anyone that doesn't play Final Fantasy is missing out on these references.
Sorry, inside jokes are so boring.
Them all at once.
And now using the Temple of the Ancients song.
I am.
I see. What, look at that! Oh my god, is it Sephiroth or Victor from Yuri on Ice? I don't
both.
know what inspired you. I feel like it's very inappropriate for you to use Eris's song.
Yeah, I know, but it was the saddest thing I could think of.
Well, what's the point? I came in here to listen to you play Final Fantasy IX.
Useful.
Did she say anything else?
Want to hear another song?
Okay.
Oh, you can choose.
Okay. The Final Fantasy VIII dramatic music.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of inappropriate. There seem to be two things on the map.
Yeah.
If Final Fantasy IX and 8 have taught me anything, it's that if something looks like weird, then you should probably go in. It's like a
Wow,
secret.
maybe. What is this?
Oh, you're playing the sad song from when Cloud gets disabled.